Hi, Lisa Schermerhorn here, and welcome to Where Truth Lies with Honey C. Golden, who is a dear friend and partner of mine, and she's just written a really amazing book, The Old Soul's Guide to the Universe. And it's coming out. We're doing a big event coming up on Sunday, so I wanted Honey to really talk about why this book, why now, why is this important?
Okay, so I follow what my higher self is saying this is what to do next. And I've been working on this book for about a year and been frustrated back and forth with it. And I've made charts that are in the back, but this is how the universe works. And it's written in a very conversational style because it's time for us to know, basically. Humanity has been told that we're very small and that we're not capable of a lot of things, which is totally a lie.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's time for us to know who we are. And this is kind of the introduction to that. There will be probably a more complicated book that comes out after, but there's a lot of information in this book and it's very condensed. So I'm just kind of putting it out there for people so that they can get started.
Right.
And this will start to activate different parts of your own awareness. And then we'll get into the more complicated ways that the universe works. But I'm really excited about it. I feel really good about it because it is the right time. And it's honestly been stressful to put a book in, I will say. So I'm excited that it's going to be, culmination of the book launch will be on Sunday.
So when you talk about, for us to find out who we are, there's so many different stories.
Yeah.
If you look at the Bible, you have one story, you have the spiritual community says many other things. How do you get your information and how do you know where we come from?
So I've cultivated being able to have conversations with my soul consciousness. And your soul is massive, and you have pieces of your soul at this point in your body, in your energetic field. And to be able to get answers from basically the multiverse, from all of your lifetimes, that really changes how we see things. And when you learn how to do that, and a lot of people are at this point, you don't need to be channeling anything in from other beings. Your soul will talk to them. Your soul will give you answers. Your soul sees everything from the bird's eye view. Your soul knows what the past and what the future is. So, and it can see all the angles of all the different timelines. So it's really like a beautiful thing. And I had to spend a lot of time getting clear and working through trauma. And by any means, it doesn't mean that I'm done with
Right.
that. Like I'm still working through different traumas and stuff. But the willingness to do that is what allows you to speak to your soul.
Right.
And that still small voice inside of you, that's your soul trying to get through. That's the biggest part of you that comes from source trying to guide you.
I love this because so many of us are taught to give our power away to others, either to, any gurus or any mentors that we may have, or anyone in the religious community, where the answers always have to come from outside of us. And the problem with that is we often have my yes might be different for you.
Mhm.
So we could have 100 people going through the same scenario, but everyone's yes and no is different. So it's about learning to tap into your own experience and your own connection to source. So what's the difference between And maybe you already just answered that kind of that you have this oversoul that's made up of all the fractals, and the fractals are the past lives that we've already, or parallel lives that we've lived. And then
Mhm.
there's also source. So where does source and the oversoul come in?
So think about source as a body, and source is massive, right? Source is God, God source, right? And you may be a cell in that body. Your soul may be a cell. If you're really, really, really old as a soul, maybe you're an organ in that body. And you have a bird's eye view of all the things that are going on in that body. And that's where the multiverse comes from, different parts
Right.
of, different experiences. We're here experiencing everything. And that information goes back into the oneness. So basically, we all come from the same being, and we're different iterations of that being. Just like your liver is different from your kidneys, we are different in our consciousness.
I love this explanation, and it goes into really it's the quantum world and how nothing is solid. I mean, you and I did this together, but we have the ability to bend a spoon. This is a stainless
Mhm.
steel spoon just by focusing your energy. And there's so many things. There's so many things that we can do. People can will themselves to live. They can will themselves to not live. They can heal
Mhm.
themselves. They can choose not to heal. And there's the unconscious mind that runs us, and then there's the conscious mind. So there's so many different layers that come into play, plus ancestral inheritance,
Mhm.
past lives. So it feels overwhelming, doesn't it?
Can, if you let it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the most overwhelming thing that has been in my awareness just lately has been tech. It hasn't been working the way I want it to, and it's made it harder to create like
Yeah.
awareness about the book.
Right.
And maybe that's a block that I have and I need to address. Or maybe it's part of what's also going on with the energetics right now and the changes that we're shifting into. Because I'm not the only one having a hard time with
With
tech.
with
Yeah, and
technology.
it started to kind of shift yesterday. It started to get better yesterday. I was like, oh, good. It's working. But honestly, like the different parts of us, it's just be still and listen and try and tap into the different parts of yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that changes everything. It's just the willingness to work on it.
It feels counterintuitive. I know for me, it was really hard to wrap my brain about this. Is like the quieter you become, the more you can accomplish. That
Mhm.
we don't have to grind anymore. And I find, I think about things and they happen now. Especially when it comes to travel. And I know that that's a part of my life that, has just been since I was young, just had a passion about it. So it keeps appearing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are those hidden things within you, that are waiting to come out? And you talk about creativity, right? We as a society over thousands of years have diminished art and music and all the creativity and not paid them very well unless you're at the very, very top echelon. And I'm excited because everyone is a different creative expression, and that people are going to be able to access those parts of them more and more.
Yeah. And that's what we're moving into because it's basically like meditation. So
Yeah.
when you're creating, you're meditating, your consciousness is fully engaged in your present moment, and you're creating something that you don't even know how much it affects the universe. So when you're creating something beautiful, You're not only creating it on a page or with sound, you're creating it for the universe. You're sending out energetics into the universe. And I think that this next time period is going to be hyper focused on creation energy. So I've been feeling the urge to play music, to draw, and I haven't done any of that over the last week, which is another part of, like, no, I got to focus on the book. But when you do that, it's like an escape, and you're also channeling in your soul
Right.
at that point. Like you're bringing in information, and some people are using it for like light language, and you see different like symbols and stuff. Some people are using it just for creationary stuff. Like I like to make designs when I'm drawing. I don't know how to play half the instruments that I own right now
Oh, that's fun.
because I keep hearing, buy that drum, buy this little thing that makes a certain noise. And it's fun because we're getting ready to create and do it together as well.
No, and the creativity is when you get into brain frequency. We're in alpha right now. I'm sorry, we're in beta. Alpha is that creative state, and so is theta, which is that meditative state. When you get lost in your art, because that's what happens, you're going to that same place as when you meditate. So if you sit and draw, and there was something really interesting that I saw that's happening with, they call Gen Z. I don't know what the age group is for that, but that younger group is tired of drinking alcohol, is tired of
Mm,
substance abuse, and the alcohol industry is losing millions and millions and millions.
yeah,
And I was like, that is so cool to me. Unless it's all going to weed because weed is legal. We don't know what that is.
I don't think so. I get no, like they want to be awake.
Yeah. Like the whole
Yeah.
mocktail thing. So it's really amazing to see the evolution
Mhm.
of this, younger generation coming in and doing, whatever it is they do instead of numbing themselves. And we need to use that as to do more of that. So in this book that you're the Old Soul's Guide, how do you know if you're an old soul?
Once you start to talk to your soul, you're going to figure out where you're at. Now, if you're like learning a lot of things and they feel brand new, then your soul is a bit younger. If you feel like when you're encountering something that would normally be new to you, but it's more like, oh, I recognize this, then you've been around a long time.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting because I remember I was studying shamanism and my instructor yelled at me because I was doing things that she hadn't taught me yet. And she's like, I didn't give you approval to do that yet. And I said, I didn't ask your permission not to do it. That was years ago. So I understand that memory. It's just like you're tapping into it because all of those past lives are stored in our organs and our cells. We're just
Mhm.
activating and accessing them.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, just have fun with it,
Yeah.
you know? Some of the souls that are coming in now are like extremely bright and extremely young. So they won't have the knowledge base, but they have a frequency that is just gonna like shine and create so much brightness for the world. So whether you're an old soul or a young soul, as long as you're a soul, you're doing awesome.
Well, that's a whole nother subject we don't have to get
Yeah,
into.
that's a whole nother subject.
So, anything else about the book? I'm curious of you know, what should someone walk away from? Walk away with when they read your book. What's going to be important for people to know?
I think activations in certain ways, and it may take a long time to land, like all the different pieces of the book. And I'll probably take different pieces, like, I'm calling them chapters,
Hmm.
but they're very short, but it's so condensed. So my dad was a poet, so I'm also a condenser
Yeah.
of information and I make it as simple as I can. And I think that that's another thing to keep in mind. Like it might be very simple and it might be a very short chapter, but it might be very intense. So take your time when you read the book, I would say. And I will follow it up with more information that's more expanded. So those that are ready for that, they'll get that as soon as I can, put that together. But it'll be more specific about how the universe actually works and what we're doing to basically input into the universe and get things back.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it. So I'll have the link, the Amazon link, and now you have an event coming up this Sunday on,
Mhm.
what is that, the 11th of
Yeah.
January. And that's a big day also for you.
So that's my birthday, and that is the launch. That's
Yeah.
the day that I chose to do the launch as well, because it numerologically, if I
Yeah.
can really even say that word, um, it is a great day to do it. So we're going to have a party. We're going to give a lot of gifts. I may do something with one of the prices for that day, and I'm still thinking about it, so I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm going to be launching it with Lisa and a whole bunch of other people, and we're going to have an absolute blast doing
Oh.
so and talking to you guys live.
So how
Yeah.
does someone get to the event? How do they need to register? Or how do they get to the link?
So what I would do is go and subscribe to Honey C Golden on YouTube, and you can go ahead and find it. It's the live. Look for lives. If you're subscribed, you'll get the notification, and it will be Sunday morning in some places, Sunday evening in other places, depending on where you're at in the world.
Well, I'll be there provided my granddaughter to be doesn't decide to have
Yeah,
share the same birthday with you.
she might.
Well, it's a
She might.
powerful
Yeah.
day. And then 2026 adds up to one, so it's 111.
Hmm. I know.
It's a
I'm
big
excited.
portal. It's a big
Yeah.
portal. Well, thank you. And
Thank
I'm so
you.
excited to read this, The Old Soul's Guide to the Universe by Honey C. Golden. And I'll have the links below. And I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.